Hello and welcome to the Culture Swally, a podcast dedicated to Scottish news and pop culture. My name is Nicky and I'm joined as always by the man who, when I put his name into a DJ name generator, it came up with the name DJ Gregology, which isn't bad, is it, mate? It's Greg.
DJ.
Yeah, DJ.
DJ Greg.
Gregology.
Gregology. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Oh yeah, the second option was DJ Speedhurst, which I thought was also quite good.
Yes.
Yeah. Mine were quite crap. The best one that it came up with was DJ Cryptnicky, which I thought was quite good.
Cryptnicky?
But crypt, as in crypt, as in a crypt keeper.
Right.
You know,
Tales of the Crypt.
Like Tales from the Crypt.
Right.
Yeah, DJ Cryptnicky. I don't quite know what that's got to do with that. But so yeah, DJ Gregology. So I hope all is well with you. Mate, we're in kind of a very strange episode loop here because to let a little light in upon magic to our listeners, we're actually recording this a couple of weeks in advance because you're going away for work, Greg. And then on our last episode, we asked for people if they had anything that we should do when we're in Aberdeen. Now, this episode's going to come out the week after we've been to Aberdeen, but we're not actually going for like another 2 and a bit weeks. So we're in some strange sort of time loop. So if you follow the Instagram account, which is at Culture Swally Pod, you will probably have seen some photos of us in Aberdeen or of pints of Tennent's and cans of Irn Bru. So you might be quite confused as to why we're not talking about the trip on this episode, but it's because we haven't been yet. But we'll be able to update you on our adventures on the next episode of the podcast.
Do you remember a couple of episodes ago, my voice was a bit deeper than usual because I'd spent the whole day smoking like a fucking sailor.
Yeah.
So we were out yesterday with some friends, and my wife and I, of late, we have been really undisciplined when it comes to smoking, especially when we're having some drinks. Always end up buying 20 fags and smoking them all. And you have to just sort of take whatever the bar has got. So it could be anything from Dunhills to Marlboro Reds to fucking God knows what. So
yeah.
So we elected last weekend to give vaping a go, and we bought we bought like a vape pen and whatever you call them, the little cartridges, cherry flavour. Not unpleasant, but what I found, because it was just sitting in the kind of breast pocket of my shirt, so I find that you actually smoke a lot more than you would if you were smoking like a cigarette, because it's got a very definite beginning and end, a cigarette, whereas a vape doesn't. So I found myself just every now and again, and there's not really a great deal of smoke off it, so they don't care if you do it indoors in the place that we were in. Yeah, so like this morning, my voice isn't funny today as a result, so that tells me that it's not quite as bad for me as smoking cigarettes. But yeah, I don't know if it's the way forward, doing the vaping. I'm not sure it is.
I can see what you mean. I mean, I haven't tried vaping, but I know people that do, you can have just a couple of little puffs.
Yeah,
and that's it. Yeah. Whereas having a whole cigarette is a bit more of a commitment.
Yeah, exactly.
So to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, you wouldn't just sit, and like what you were saying, you wouldn't just sit in front of the telly and just continually smoke like cigarettes. Well, some people some people obviously do.
Yeah, some people do.
We've never been smokers like that.
No,
but with the vape, I could see me sitting with a vape, watching a movie, and having a couple of cans, and just fucking smoking continuously. Especially if I was by myself and there wasn't anybody to say you're fucking smoking loads there. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Oh well, so it should be DJ Vapology, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Or
maybe
DJ Greg the Vapist. I've never made that connection before. Vapist. Yeah, well, okay. We've got a vapist on the show later on. Okay, so well, good luck. I look forward to hearing how that goes on how you get on with the vaping. Well, hey, well, the next time we record, you'll have been doing it for quite a few weeks. Well, maybe not, because you're going away, I'd imagine you're leaving that at home.
I am. Leaving at home. I mean, I think the reason I'm leaving it at home, actually, is because, one, I know that I'll get a row if I take it away, because my wife might look for it one night and not be able to find it. And two, I don't think you're allowed to take them on as hand luggage. I don't think you're allowed to check them. I don't think you're allowed to check them in. Is what I mean. In case they blow up. Because they always say, do you have any electronic cigarettes in your luggage when you're checking your bag in? So yeah, I think I just need to be, and I'm going to be with people who don't smoke, which will make life a lot easier, I think, so.
Yeah, that always helps. I think it's easier if you're around people that don't, so it makes life a lot easier for you. Wonderful. Okay, well, I guess, shall we have a look at what's been going on in Scotland 3 weeks ago when this comes out?
Yep, cue the jingle.
Hello, this is the Outer Hebrides Broadcasting Corporation, and here is what's been going on in the news.
Okay, Greg, so what have you seen this week in the newspapers that has caught your eye and you want to share with us?
Well, my first story, it's about Cumbernauld.
Oh.
For years, Cumbernauld, which is a town just about 10 miles north of Glasgow, it's a new town, and for our international listeners, a new town in the UK was essentially, they were built after the war. So when people were moved out of city centres, all these new towns are built. So I think the most famous one in the UK is probably Milton Keynes, but you've got Stevenage, you've got Livingston in Scotland, you've got East Kilbride, and perhaps Scotland's Glenrothes, and perhaps Scotland's most famous new town is Cumbernauld. Cumbernauld has a town centre, but it's not like other town centres because it's all indoors. It's essentially a shopping centre, and it's fucking hideous. It always has been. And unfortunately, Cumbernauld has been named Scotland's ugliest town a number of times. Oh. So the council now are planning to demolish the town centre and replace it. So this article was in the Scottish Sun on the 2nd of May. A town centre, which has twice been named Scotland's ugliest eyesore, is to be demolished. Cumbernauld Town Centre was hailed as a vision of the future when it was built in the years after the Second World War. But time has been called on the centre, which has repeatedly been handed the unenviable title of Scotland's worst eyesore. The brutalist architecture used to build drab Cumbernauld Town Centre, which is all contained inside one giant building, may have been way ahead of its time in the 1950s, but it's now set to be demolished. During its construction, the centre was heavily praised, but it quickly became known as an eyesore and was awarded Scotland's Carbuncle title and handed the Pluck on the Plinth trophy in 2001 and 2005. Cumbernaulds population is almost 51,000 people. It's the only Scottish town to be labelled Scotland's most dismal town twice. Yet back in the 1980s, it shot to fame at the setting for hit movie Gregory's Girl, starring John Gordon Sinclair, Claire Grogan and Dee Hepburn, which we reviewed on our second episode of the Culture Swally, way back hundreds of years ago, when the pandemic was about a third in, I think. The town itself was described as the Kabul of the North in 2001, with a special mention for the town shopping centre described as a rabbit warren on stilts. 4 years later, when the town scooped the award for a second time, I'm not sure you would describe that as scooping the award.
Scooped.
Yeah, a spokesperson for the judging panel noted that if anything, the town had declined further still. Back in 1956, Cumbernauld was designated as one of the 5 new towns in Scotland as post-war Glasgow slums were cleared and the so-called overspill were given the opportunity to move to new homes in central belt towns like Cumbernauld, East Kilbride, Livingston, Irvine and Glenrothes. Working from a blank canvas, town planners were given the opportunity to design, quite literally, new towns. But of the 5, the vision for Cumbernauld Town Centre backfired spectacularly. The Carbuncle Award, voted for by readers of business magazine Unlimited, was bestowed annually on a Scottish town which is deemed to be a blot on the landscape. When it received the unfortunate title for the first time, organisers homed in on the sprawling, angular concrete complex, which they described as soulless and inaccessible, something like Eastern Europe before the Berlin Wall came down. Now North Lanarkshire Council is to put it out of its misery and has agreed to buy the town centre from its private owners, part of a multi-million-pound scheme to create a town hub. So they're going to put schools, leisure facilities, office space, and a new health centre, along with shops, homes, and public spaces connected by active and sustainable travel options. The plan is part of a £3.5 billion effort to reimagine towns across the region, putting schools and public services back at the centre of urban communities. So Cumbernauld for me is a place quite close to my heart, because my father used to take me to that shopping centre every weekend when I was a little boy, and in those days it had quite a good range of shops. My dad lived in Cumbernauld, or he lived in Cumbernauld Village, which was the original sort of the original community before the new town was built around it. To be honest, like it's not just the town centre. Some of the like houses and like blocks of flats and stuff that are in Cumbernauld are fucking weird. It's like, if you know A Clockwork Orange, the movie. Yeah. When you see wide shots of like where Malcolm McDowell lives, it does look a bit like Cumbernauld, to be honest.
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think it'll be good for Cumbernauld to get a new town centre. I was in a town centre this year when I was in Cumbernauld. I think I sent you, there's a comic shop in there. I sent you some pictures. Those wrestling figures, remember all those loose ones?
Yeah.
And
yes.
So that's I think it's called Castle Comics. And if you're ever in Cumbernauld Town Centre and you like comics, then you could go and check them out. They're a bit expensive, but apart from Castle Comics, it's like exclusively charity shops. Pretty much, it's like all charity shops. There's a post office and everything, but it's pretty grim, to be quite honest, especially when you lived in Dubai for 2 years, you know.
I think that's indicative of a lot of city centres, though. I mean, well, famously, we're going to Aberdeen in a few weeks. Yeah. We'll discuss it in the next pod. But last time we were there, Union Street, which is the main high street, used to be packed with lots of shops and different places. Now it's basically all bookies, charity shops, Greggs, and like Tesco and Sainsbury's Express or We Buy Gold type shops. Like, it's a fucking depressing state of affairs. And that's the shops that are open. A lot of them are boarded up or not doing anything. You know, I think the rates are too high to attract good local independent retailers. Yeah, so it's just all shops like that. So I don't understand. I think it's just a part of city centre living at the moment. It's such a shame.
I think a lot of it's to do with online shopping is a lot more accessible. It's a lot easier than it was sort of 10 years ago, especially with the big boys like Amazon and stuff. You know, like for these brands, they would have having like a big sort of flagship store in a city centre. It would probably lose money, but it was still worth having because it's a flagship store. You know what I mean? It's presence in like a major city centre, and they probably just take the hit on the rent and everything. But I guess it's harder for companies to sustain that shops like that. Is when especially for like Next. Apart something like 85% of Next business in the UK is online. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, right, there's no Next in Cumbernauld Town Centre, by the way. But
that's maybe why.
Yeah, there is an Argos, funnily enough, that seems to have hung in there all these years. So.
Yeah, it's amazing that Argos still is on the go, really, isn't it? Yeah. It's incredible.
The old book of dreams.
The old book of dreams. Mentioned that many a time on the podcast. Yeah. Wonderful thing.
So that was my first story this week. What's your first story?
Okay, my first story this week, Greg, is about a Scots pub boss who poured 2 rare 1 in a million cans of clear Irn Bru. Have you ever heard of clear Irn Bru? No. So this is from the Daily Record today. So it's a Scots pub boss who is feeling lucky after cracking open 2 cans of clear Irn Bru, despite there being 1 in a million odds of this. Barmaid Joanne Hanlon was serving her employee at the Boar's Head in Airdrie, North Lanarkshire, 2 weeks ago when they made the first shock discovery. After pouring the Irn Bru into a glass, the duo were stunned to find the iconic orange colour was missing, but that the sugar-free fizzy drink still tasted exactly the same. After contacting AG Bar, manufacturers of Irn Bru, they were told that this is a rare phenomenon that is caused by an issue with the inside of the can. So yeah, I don't know if I'd be quite happy to drink that if being told that it's an issue with the inside of the can. But the business owners have been told that they should buy a lottery ticket after they opened a second can of clear Irn Bru on Thursday. Employee Joanne said, I was serving my boss a can of Irn Bru a couple of weeks ago. When she opened it up, it was completely clear. I was shocked. I asked if it was fizzy, which it was, and then I tasted it. It tasted exactly the same. It just had no colour in it. When I first looked at it, I thought, is that water? So yeah, she contacted AG Bar asking, she wasn't phoning to complain, she was asking if she'd won some sort of competition because she'd never heard of that happening before. Well, but sometimes they do that with, not Irn Bru, but they might do, find the golden egg or something and claim a prize. Like Brewdog did with the can, that got them into a hell of a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So she drinks Irn Bru all the time and has never come across this. They replied and said it was a 1 in a million chance of it happening, and it's very, very rare. They sent her out some coupons for Irn Bru. That's, she's had this 1 in a million discovery, and they are sending her sort of, I'll have some free Irn Bru on us. But then she texted me to say she'd opened her second can of clear Irn Bru. I've told her to put the lottery on. Yeah, they said it's something to do with the inside of the can and all the colour gets sucked out or something like that.
Right.
It's very weird that's happened to her twice in a fortnight. AG Barb and contacted for a comment from the Daily Record. Now, like I say, I'd be a bit strange. You see those stories and those videos on YouTube and stuff of people putting like dirty 2p's into like a can of Coke, and it just comes out all shiny. I would have to wonder if that's something that's been going on here. Like the can has sucked the colour out of the Irn Bru. How is that possible?
So then if we were to cut the can open, would the inside be orange then? The inside of the can?
That's a very good point. There's no photo of that, and they probably didn't keep the can maybe, but yeah, that's a very good point. I wonder if it would, because you would think so. Because if you cut open a can Irn Bru, it's just like the kind of metallic inside. Mm-hmm. But yeah, would it be orange? You would think so. Otherwise, where does the colour go?
Well, that's it. That's my point. Bizarre. Really weird. I mean, do you remember?
Very strange.
Do you remember when Coke released Tab, and it was
I'd love.
Supposed to
loved it.
Kind of clear Coca-Cola, right?
Yeah, but I seem to remember it tasted slightly different, but I think it was just clear Coca-Cola, Tab Clear. But I really liked it. I was quite sad when it got withdrawn after, I think, about a year.
I don't think we were ready. I don't think, because I think you can still buy. I think you can still get it in the US. But I think
so.
But the US, Americans have got a thing for what I would call fizzy juice. Like Coke, and like if you go to like the Cheesecake Factory, they give you like a pint of fizzy. If you order like a Coke, it comes like in a big pint glass, and then they just keep kind of coming and topping it up without you even asking. And like I think in the UK we don't really consume fizzy drinks like that. I don't think. You know what I mean? But
I know.
Those guys do.
I don't think so. In the UK, well, especially Scotland, I'd say the main fizzy drink that's consumed that way comes out of a draft, and it's usually lager.
Yeah.
And I would say the most amount of fizzy juice is consumed, again, as a mixer with your vodka or whiskey. It seems to be
Exactly.
Definitely the high consumption rates in Scotland. It's so bizarre. I would be quite shocked. I don't know if I would. I think I would probably give it a taste, and I would be quite surprised of, wow, it tastes the same. But I would definitely think it was just some sort of mistake or mix-up. But then with them telling me that the can sometimes sucks the colour out, I'd be a bit wary now next time I try Irn Bru.
Yeah, I'm just having a look online because I felt like Pepsi released something like Tab in the UK around about the same time. I can't remember what it's called.
I thought they did as well. It rings a bell.
But Tab was introduced in the US in 1963 as their first diet drink. Some people have erroneously assumed that Tab stands for totally artificial beverage. It doesn't.
Okay.
It's supposed, according to Coca-Cola, it's supposed to bring to mind keeping tabs on your weight because it's a so-called healthier drink. But I can't find anything about the Pepsi one.
Yeah, I thought they did release something. I think you're right, but I can't remember. It wouldn't have been... I'm just purely thinking because in, of course, Back to the Future, Marty asks for a tab, and then he says, give me a Pepsi free. But I guess it's just to have the joke. I guess that Pepsi Free was probably just Diet Pepsi. It's probably Pepsi Max now.
Or Pepsi Sugar Free.
Yeah, I don't know. Thought just an interesting little story about the clean Irn Bru, because we do love a little bit of Irn Bru news on the Swally.
We do. I was out for dinner yesterday. We were out with an English couple. We were out with two Scottish girls that we're friends with and an English couple. And the Scottish girls are from Glasgow. And they were like, and this English couple were like, they couldn't understand why Irn Bru was so important to us. You know what I mean? They're like, you know, why is it such a big deal? Because I was complaining that Irn Bru tastes different now because they've changed the recipe.
Yeah.
But you can buy the 1910 recipe in Scotland. We can have some of that when we're back in Aberdeen, Nicky. I don't know if you had a chance to try that yet.
I haven't. I have seen it here as well, but I haven't. I didn't purchase it. But yeah, I'll have to try it when I'm back.
Yeah. It's I was like, look, it's important because you grow up with it. You know what I mean? It's like, I know that when I lived in England, there was a aerated waters company called Marshes that sold their own version of Coke, and like Bon Accords in Aberdeen, they had like their own Coke as well as a couple of proprietary drinks such as Moray Cup with the racially insensitive label on the bottle. It took them an alarmingly long time to take away.
That we've adopted for our podcast logo.
Yeah. We've taken it back. The sort of local drink there was something called Sass, and it's short for sarsaparilla. It's fucking...
Okay.
I mean, they fucking love it there. It's disgusting. Yeah. It's fucking horrible.
Is that not just like American cream soda?
No, it's not as sweet as American. No? It's a lot more tart. I mean, I quite like American cream soda. It's a dark drink. It's the same sort of colour as Coke, not quite as dark as Coke.
Right.
But yeah, I really fancy like a Coke or something now. Get real cold, really cold Coke. Or Pepsi or something.
Sorry, all the talk of the fizzy drinks is giving you that. Sorry about that.
I think I've got a can of Irn Bru in the fridge.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, so what is your second story this week? What else have you seen in Scotland?
When I saw this story, I thought of you, because I know that you are a fan of the wrestling.
Yes.
This is again from the Scottish Sun on the 1st of May, and the headline reads, Drew Paldy, Scots wrestling star Drew McIntyre forms unlikely tag team with Lewis Capaldi, and fans are saying the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah, the Scots duo sent fans into a frenzy this afternoon when the grappling giant Drew released the shock image on social media. I mean, I can describe the shock image. It's Drew McIntyre with his shirt off, standing in a fairly standard wrestler pose, looking mean, flexing his muscles, and Lewis Capaldi sort of copying the stance, but he's wearing a jumper. Not quite sure.
Thank God.
Not quite sure what's so shocking about it. Rangers daft Drew, who stands at 6'5" and weighs nearly 20 stone, dwarfed his Someone You Loved compatriot and Celtic fan pal in the snap shared after today's Old Firm derby, which ended 1-1. And despite Drew, 36, recently being linked with a huge match against boxing king Tyson Fury, he teased an alternative option involving Lewis, 25, that took people by surprise. He said, name this hot new tag team, and as expected, fans did not disappoint with their hilarious suggestions. One follower suggested the Young Jocks, while another liked the Highland Boys, which both sound like a sort of kind of northeast of Scotland Chippendales act. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they certainly do.
Yeah. Another voted for Beauty and the Beast. I'm not sure which one is which there. And a fellow fan gave the name another Scottish flavour with, you'll like this one, the Irn Drus.
Oh, I like that. Yep. I like that. That's
Irn
good.
Drus.
Yeah.
Yep. Lastly, Braveheart. Not a lot of thought went into that one. And Drew Paldy seemed to go down well. The potential little and large pairing comes after Drew from Ayr. I thought he was from Dunfermline, Drew McIntyre, for some reason.
No, it's from Ayr, Scotland.
He's been heavily linked with a massive fight against Tyson Fury. Fury called out Drew as he vowed to knock him out in a WWE super fight in the UK. The WBC heavyweight champion extended his undefeated round last month by finishing Dylan White in the 6th round at Wembley. And while the 33-year-old insists that he now plans to retire from the sport, he isn't given up on fighting completely. He revealed in the ring afterwards that he plans to face UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou in a special rules bout. But he also took the time to call out Drew as he admitted his hope to appear at the WWE's massive show at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff in September, which is called WWE Clash at the Castle, the first event of that size to be held in the UK in more than 30 years. Fury first appeared in WWE in 2019, defeating Braun Strowman at a show in Saudi Arabia before appearing at a show in Manchester a few weeks later. He said, "I know Drew McIntyre's been saying a lot of things about me. I have to knock him out, like I did his pal. I'd love to be at Cardiff and be back on the centre stage in the UK, especially for the wrestling. I enjoyed it the last time in Saudi Arabia. It was fantastic." While Drew fired back, "Biggest win of his career, and he can't keep my name out of his mouth. You have our number, Tyson Fury." So there we go. A bit of a double story there.
That is a powerhouse of meeting there in terms of McIntyre and Capaldi. You know something, before we start recording, listener, we just quickly give ourselves just a little snippet of what the news story is about, just so because it has happened that we've had the same story a couple of times, and one of us is left like, oh shit, I've only got one story now today. So we don't spoil anything, we just give us a little snippet of what it could be about. And you said, oh, it's about Drew McIntyre, and I, for some reason, heard you say Peter Capaldi that you met. And I was like, wow, that's going to be interesting. And then when you said, oh, Lewis Capaldi, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot more sense, I would think, that he would be meeting Lewis Capaldi. Hey, great, good on both of them. I don't mind, Lewis Capaldi's music isn't for me, but I think he's very funny on Twitter and stuff. I think he doesn't take himself too seriously, and I'm good on the lad as well. I think he's really funny.
Yeah, he's done really well.
And Drew as well. Drew, it's quite a wonderful success story that he had as well, in terms of he was in the WWE a long time ago. I guess kind of took his eye off the ball, wasn't doing too great, got released, and then that was kind of the kick up the arse that he needed. So he went and wrestled for a couple of years on independent scene, built a name back up for himself, and kind of forced the WWE to rehire him, and within like 2 years or so he was winning the title at WrestleMania and stuff, and winning the Royal Rumble, so good on him. It's a very good success story for him to show that hard work and dedication pays off. Yeah,
and he's going to have a square go with Tyson Fury potentially as well.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a load of shite, to be honest. I think I did watch the fight that he had with Braun Strowman, and it was a pile of shit. It's just he's too big. He's a great boxer though, but he's too big to and lumbering around in a wrestling ring.
I mean, the WWE have been doing that since the very beginning, haven't they? Like, they had the old American footballer, the refrigerator. He was in an early event, famously Mr. T.
Yeah.
Bizarrely,
WrestleMania 1.
Bizarrely, Cyndi Lauper as well.
Yeah,
weirdly enough.
Yeah, she was a big part of WrestleManias and stuff.
Yeah.
No, they've always had. There was a big angle in the Attitude Era with Mike Tyson. He was at WrestleMania. There was Floyd Mayweather fought the Big Show as well. There's quite a lot of connections with boxing and the crossover there. Yeah. So it's quite a regular thing.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I'm sure Tyson Fury, if he doesn't want to box, I kind of get the feeling that he would not like to be completely out of the public eye. And I suppose being in the being a regular in the wrestling is probably a good way of keeping his profile up without risking being like sort of punch drunk. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what I completely agree with you. I think he will end up doing something that keeps him in the public eye. Who knows what? I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up going into politics or something. He just strikes me as the type that would like turn his hand to something like that. But yeah, you're right. He'll probably keep himself in and around in the public eye for a while before deciding on what he's going to do next.
So that's my second and last story this week. What's your next one?
Well, I saw this list in the Daily Record and I thought, you know what, I like that. That's something that would be quite interesting, and maybe for our international listeners as well, that would be. So it's a list of things that was on Reddit, the things that Scotland has, but England doesn't. So the article reads, Scotland has a lot of great things going for it, and a recent Reddit thread sprung up asking people what we have in Scotland that our neighbours in England don't. The answers were a fascinating insight into the difference between the two countries and showed that sometimes we do have it just a little bit better. And sometimes we have it worse. For example, one particular Highland terror and Scotland's most fearsome natural predator, the midgie, being a perfect example. So here are some of the best responses that were pointed out on Reddit. So I think this will be a good thing. So things we have in Scotland, Greg, that you can't get in England. Number 1, tablet. Everyone's favourite treat from your granny. So I think we might have discussed tablet before in the Swally. The only way to describe it is probably the sweetest thing known to man. It's basically it's just like pure sugar and butter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit like fudge, only it's I think it's a lot denser. It's quite no, is it as dense? But I mean, literally, you can when you see tablet on a plate, you can feel your teeth starting to rot. Yeah. Immediately, you know what I mean? Tablet's too sweet for me. I'm not a big fan of it. You can have a bit, but then you're like, oh, that's too much. You know, it's just you're basically just sucking on sugar. Yeah, doing that. Basically, one square like a week. You know what I mean? That's plenty. Number 2, of course, the old favourite, square sausage. It's just whatever you call it, it fits perfectly on a morning roll, and it's the best breakfast around. I disagree. Gives me heartburn. Fucking shite. The third, Greg, is something that we've mentioned quite a few times on the Swally before. Well, it's a food stuff as well. Can you guess what it is? Haggis? No. Close though. Macaroni pies. Oh. Yep. Scottish fusion food at its finest. The next one on the list, Scotch pies. So you can see where we're going here on this list. We'd like our pies. Junk food in Scotland. Scotch pie, the ultimate comfort Scottish food. Next on the list, free prescriptions, which I think is a very valid point. In Scotland, you can get free prescriptions, but you don't get that in England. Yeah, free drugs in Scotland. Yeah, free drugs. Followed up with free university tuition, which again is something that is wonderful that you get in Scotland that you don't get in England. Another freebie that you can get in Scotland that you can't get in England, which was just introduced, I think, last year, is free sanitary products for women, which also, again, is a wonderful thing that you can get in Scotland because it's something that is deemed to be obviously essential. Amazing tap water. Isn't it? Yeah, that's true. Very true, yep. And I have to agree, Scotland does have amazing tap water. England, not so much, no. Something that I'm going to be stocking up a lot on when I'm back in Aberdeen is buttrays or rowies. It says Scots from the northeast always miss these when they leave Scotland, and I completely agree. I thought you were going to say you were going to stock up on tap water. Just say, fuck it. No, I'm not going to stock up on tap water. That would just be ridiculous. I'm not taking a case with me, and I can't take liquids on the plane. So, but I totally would. Yeah. Now, there was a bit of debate on this next one. So, tatty scones. Apparently, you can get them in England, but they are known as potato cakes, which doesn't sound as good. Tatty scone sounds a lot better there. Yeah. The second last on the list is something, now I would say this is more of a Edinburgh thing, but it's chippy sauce, which is... That's an Edinburgh thing. It's basically like brown sauce and vinegar kind of mixed together, isn't it? Like watery brown sauce. Yeah. And then the last one on the list, which no explanation is needed, proper mountains. So... Proper mountains. There was only 2 bad things on the list, which were midges, which you don't get in English accent. I think an Englishman may have created Scotland and realised he made it too beautiful, so made the weather shit in the winter, and the moments it's nice, he made midges come out. Which it'd be true. And unsurprisingly, one of the other things that people complained about, which it says, this does my head in, I can't understand it, is a curfew on buying booze in shops. Yeah. Because he says, I can understand sales not starting before 10 a.m, but none after 10 p.m,
is pretty annoying. Surely you could just push it to midnight.
Yeah.
And the last thing that is on the list, which was surprising, is something, again, I know you've discussed, Greg, on the Swally, is well-fired rolls.
Oh, yeah.
And he said they did try it in England, and it actually made the newspapers. They called out a baker who they said was trying to sell burnt rolls. So well-fired rolls, again, I think is more of a Glasgow thing for me. It's just a slightly crisper roll.
And the thing is, this undoubtedly that well-fired rolls were created by mistake. Do you know what I mean? Somebody has burnt some normal rolls, like, oh, fuck's sake, and then tried it and thought, that actually tastes no bad. And then a quick wave of the marketing magic wand before you know where you are. It's part of the public psyche. So was somebody saying there that an English guy it was a joking that he must have come and created midges to like ruin the summer? Is that what he said?
He's saying that, I misread that actually. He said, as an Englishman, I think God created Scotland, realised he'd made it too beautiful, so he made the weather shit in the winter, and the moment the nice weather comes out, then the midges arrive. Which, is a big problem in Scotland. The midges. It's not, they're not the nicest. Oh, and sorry, I've missed the very last thing. And this is a word that I use a lot. And I only realised a couple of years ago that it's a Scottish word.
Right.
And it doesn't get used anywhere else. And it's the word out with.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Surprising, isn't it? Yeah. Someone pointed it out to me. They went, what? That's not a word. And if you type out with into like Word or something, it comes up as a spelling mistake. Now, I think that is such a useful word. It's out with the realms of possibility that it's not a proper word. But apparently it's a Scottish word.
Oh, well, there you go.
Who knew? We do now, and so do you listeners. So you're welcome. But I thought that was just a nice little list of stuff. I mean, is there anything else? I similarly to what we were discussing earlier, not to make you crave the can of Irn Bru you've got in their fridge even more, but, when I lived in England for a year, it was always kind of a joke in my office that I would come in every morning with a can of Irn Bru and a copy of the Daily Record, because I passed a shop on the way to work that sold it, and I'm like, well, it's what? It's my treats from Scotland.
My treats.
It's kind of, but it's have the Irn Bru at lunchtime and read the Daily Record like on the way to work and have a read of it on a break or something. It was, What's so wrong about that?
Nothing at all. And I mean, obviously, Irn Bru isn't drank as regularly as it was 20 years ago by you and I. I wouldn't have thought.
No.
I mean, the thing is, although that's a very good list of things that we have in Scotland that England doesn't have, but there's also a whole host of things that were created in Scotland or by a Scottish person. The television, for example, created by John Logie Baird in the late 20s, early 30s. The telephone, although it was created in America, but it was Alexander Graham Bell, who's Scottish. Penicillin was invented in Glasgow by Alexander Fleming, and not a moment too soon, I would imagine. Hundreds of stuff.
Yeah, of course. Very, very famous, of course. We covered this a few episodes ago when we spoke about it on The Big Man. You get any two Scots in a room and they're going to be discussing
that's right,
famous inventors and inventions from Scots.
Why Scotland is the best place in the world.
Yeah. Apart from midges, of course.
Yeah, midges.
But we do like to
well-fired
blow our own trumpet. Well-fired rolls. Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of a well-fired roll. I have to be honest.
I like a soft roll,
especially with a square sausage in it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. Okay, does that cover the news for this week, or is there anything else that you'd like to cover?
That covers the news this week.
Okay. All right then, before we go on to what we're going to be talking about on the Swally this week, let's have a little word from our sponsors.
There's a place that's so easy to reach by road, air and rail, over 500 companies have made it their home.
What's it called?
There's a place where so many people are settling, 1,000 new homes will be built by 1990.
What's it called?
There's a place where the future is so bright, over 40 new companies moved in there last year.
What's it called?
There's a place where people can enjoy golf, windsurfing, snooker, swimming, winter sports, squash,
What's
sailing,
it
rugby,
called?
football.
Cumbernauld, a new generation.
Okay, so it was your choice this week, Nicky. So why don't you introduce the film that you've chosen?
Oh, thank you very much, Greg. Yes, I'm looking forward to this. I want to hear your thoughts. So I want to discuss Get Duked, which is a 2019 black comedy directed and written by Neenan Doff. It tells the tale of 4 schoolboys, Dean, Duncan, Ian, and DJ Beetroot, who are taken to the Scottish Highlands. I don't know how I'm going to get through this without laughing at DJ Beetroot all the time. Who are taken to the Scottish Highlands to achieve the Duke of Edinburgh Award. But the trip turns into a fight for survival when the boys become the target of vicious hunters and the Duke. Also featuring suspected pedos and a vicious bread thief. It was released on Amazon Prime in 2020. The original title for this, and I believe it was released as this just before in the States, I think, was Boys in the Wood.
Right.
But it was changed, it was changed at the last minute, and it's still in the end credits as Boys in the Wood. It was changed when John Singleton passed away.
Right.
Just before it came out, so they changed it to Get Duked. So it stars Samuel Bottomley, Viraj Duena, Lewis Gribben, Ryan Gordon, and of course Eddie Izzard, Kate Dickie, Georgia Glenn, and James Cosmo. Since this is a very recent film, I should warn you, we will be talking about this and spoiling it, because it only came out, I think, in 2020 on Amazon Prime. So if you haven't seen it yet, please do yourself a favour, go and watch it, and then come back and listen to what we have to say about it. So, Greg, when I mentioned this last week, you said you had never even heard of this. So What did you think about Get Duked?
I thought it was really funny, to be honest. I thought it was really, really funny. I thought that the 4 young actors that play the leads were really good. You know what I mean? Really, really good. Yeah, it was. It was good. I don't know what else to say. I was quite surprised, to be honest. And I don't know how it got past me, because I like to think that I've kind of got my finger on the pulse of such things, but that's Get Duked and Caliber, they both passed me by without me realising until you brought it to my attention. But no, yeah, it was good. I think that the young guy in particular, Samuel Bottomley, who plays Ian, he's particularly good, I thought.
Yeah, I think he is. He's got quite a bit of a acting behind him. If you know, when you look at the IMDb, he's done quite a lot. Yeah. Although, incredibly, who would have thought, but Lewis Gribben, who plays Duncan, this is his 3rd appearance on the Swally in the last 4 episodes, I think. Right. Because he's in T2, Trainspotting. He plays one of the dealers that Spud buys drugs off of at the start.
Right, yeah.
And he's in Our Ladies. He plays the patient in Lourdes.
Right, okay.
So a couple of blink and you miss it roles, but yeah, he's in there. But yeah, you're right, Samuel Bottomley, he's fantastic, and of course he's English, but puts on quite a convincing accent as Ian, the Scottish accent. Yeah, I really like the dynamic with the 4 boys. So you have the 3 guys, Dean, Duncan, and DJ Beetroot, who they're all at the same school, and they get forced to go to the Duke of Edinburgh Award for. Duncan and Dean set fire to the school toilet because Duncan's trying to light a shite. And then DJ Beetroot decides to film a hip-hop video whilst it's burning behind him. So they get forced to go on this Duke of Edinburgh Award. Did you ever do Duke of Edinburgh?
No, I think you might have cut it out, but the Duke of Edinburgh Award came up a few episodes ago, and I think I said that all the kids did Duke of Edinburgh Award when I was at school were cunts. Now, you may have taken it out. Watching this back, when I thought back to the Duke of Edinburgh Award at school, I don't think those kids were cunts at all in hindsight. I think because I don't recall ever being invited to do the Duke of Edinburgh Award. I think it was like it tended to be kids who sort of conversely, and the complete opposite to what the boys are like in this film, but it tended to be kids who were quite academic and were achieving quite well. I was always fairly middle of the road at school. Like the subjects I liked, I did all right in. The subjects I didn't like, I did fucking terribly in, so I just didn't try very hard. So I never did it. Did you do it?
No, I didn't do it. No. I pretty much as you explained, it was all the really, I fucking hate camping and stuff. So, and that that's what it seemed to me it was all about. I mean, for international listeners, Duke of Edinburgh Awards, I mean, it is a worldwide thing, but for me, it did seem it's all about teamwork and doing like orienteering and foraging and working. It just didn't appeal to me in the slightest. So I never did it. I couldn't be arsed with that. Rather spent my weekends drinking in the park and getting off with girls rather than going camping with teachers and stuff. No, fuck that. No interest in it at all. But yeah, so they're forced to go and do the Duke of Edinburgh Award, but they're joined by Ian, who is not at school with them. Mm-hmm. He's homeschooled. But you do kind of think in the beginning that they are going to be, are these three going to bully him? Because the teacher does say to them, you have to treat him, but they don't at all. Like they take him in straight away. And they're mucking around with him, and he's a little bit straight-laced to begin with, but he comes out of his shell later on. But you just get the dynamic between the four of them. It's so good. The way they bounce off each other, and they are all individual characters, especially DJ Beetroot, but Dean and Duncan, they're very good friends. That's what this film is about as well, really, about the difference in class and aspirations. Dean, all he wants to do is go and work at the fish factory for £6.50 an hour. That's packing fish, and that shows his aspirations in life. But of course, Ian, he's doing this so that he gets good grades for university, and then he can go to law school. But that's out with the kind of perception of Dean and definitely Duncan. And of course, DJ Beetroot's going to be a global hip-hop superstar.
Yeah, for sure. I think what the film does well, it could have taken a lot of quite familiar tropes. You know what I mean? There could have been that sort of in-betweeners vibe, one guy always being the kind of butt of the jokes and things, but the little kind of introduction that we get to the three characters near the start of the film, when the teacher, Mr. Carlyle, is asking them for their names. And DJ Beetroot said, and this clip was in the trailer as well, and he has to go over and tell him his real name, and was it William Devois or something like that?
Yeah.
Then when he comes back, and Duncan says, what did you say to him? So I told him to fuck himself. Yes!
Well, I guess I know that was in the trailer. The part that wasn't in the trailer that I liked seeing the full scene is when he says, DJ Beetroot. He goes, what's your original name? He goes, well, last week I was MC Dickfire. And Dean and Duncan both kind of nod at him like, yeah, you are. Yeah. So it was it.
Okay, and?
DJ Beetroot.
Who?
DJ Beetroot.
Can I have your real name, please?
That is my real name.
No, your original name.
Well, I mean, last week I was MC Dickfire.
Dickfire.
So it's just that third one down there. William de Beauvoir.
William.
Oh!
What did you tell
Told him to go fuck himself.
Oh, nice.
So he's obviously changing his rap name every week. But, and that's what I really like about the film as well, as you say. It's they could have gone down these original tropes of say the in-betweeners or get beaten on, but they go all out in this. Like they really go for it, and I think you had to, because it wouldn't have been as funny if they hadn't just gone completely mental and balls to the wall. Yeah. And they really do. And some of the people in this film, I read that the director, the very first person he cast was Kate Dickie.
Right.
And the reason he did that was because Kate Dickie is such a well-respected actress. Mm-hmm. And he knew if he could get someone like that, then it would be easier, people taking this seriously as a film, because he really wanted to make it as it turned out. He wanted to make a sort of out there, totally insane comedy, but with a real cast. And I think that helped, because he then attracted some wonderful actors.
Yeah.
Fucking James Cosmo and Eddie Izzard. And so I think it was a good idea for him to do that. But they just go completely mental with it. And there's so many funny parts. And they don't shy away from saying things. The ridiculousness of the police officers, which we'll come on to later. But it's really just brilliant the way they just absolutely go for it. And there's so many jokes that you can relate to as well, even at our age and with the schoolboys.
Yeah, how did you feel about seeing a respected character actor who's in Everything Scottish, James Cosmo, dancing to the sounds of DJ Beetroot whilst supposedly on really strong Highlands drugs?
actually had to pause this film when it's the scene of the boys have just escaped the Duke and they're running and you see the tractor going past and James Cosmo has his headphones on and he's singing "My dick is a Tyrannosaurus, balls big like a bull, 100% Taurus." That image, James Cosmo, I have seen so many films of his and wonderful character actor, as you say. That's probably one of the first images I'm going to think of now when I think of James Cosmo, is him driving the tractor. And the interaction he has with DJ Beetroot as well, when he's... I love it, when he slaps the sticker on it, he's, "Oi, you wee shit!" And hands him the CD, he's like, "Oh, it's a lovely crop, a lovely vegetable, beetroot." It's wonderful. And you have to think, for the actor, Viraj, he must have been like, I'm acting with James Cosmo, and it's only really him that has interaction with Cosmo, and they have they just have this beautiful kind of connection and relationship, and it must have been amazing for him to be working with him on that level.
Hey, you wee shit!
Nothing to do with me, sir. Big country code fan here. Take one of these. Dopest beets this side of Kilmarnock. Spread the word with the other farmers, yeah?
Oh, beetroot.
DJ Beetroot.
I found it. It's a lovely crop.
No, as in BE80. Beetroot. Root of the beet. Proper clever, right? DJ Beetroot.
Yeah, and then they get to swap jumpers after the barn rave. Gets that lovely cable knit jumper. He had another
farm side.
Another funny line when near the beginning of the film, when he's complaining about his shoes, and one of the boys, I think Duncan, finds him a pair of boots just the side of, like, hanging on a fence. And he's like, "Fence shoes? We're not going to wear fence shoes." It's really funny.
He's like slapping him on the back. How could you imagine if someone saw DJ Beetroot wearing fence shoes? Like, oh no, what are you doing? So, where do you want to start in terms of the boys? I mean, I think Dean and Duncan are quite easily done. And of course, we've kind of already touched upon Ian. And, well, I guess we've touched upon DJ Beetroot as well. Yeah. But DJ Beetroot is an aspiring hip-hop star. He went and toured America, but it was the 2 weeks that his mum and dad went to Disney World with him. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, that just happened at the same time, yeah." So introduce the boys properly. We've got Ian, who is homeschooled, a bit of a square peg. He says "I've never seen a murder before. I'm homeschooled," which made me fucking spit my tea out. There's Dean, who has got no aspirations whatsoever. Would have preferred to have been expelled from school rather than being punished by doing this Duke of Edinburgh award. And then Duncan, who downloaded the terrorist... Oh, no. Dean downloaded the terrorist handbook at Duncan's house. Duncan's a wanted potential terrorist. The police are hunting a man under the name of Duncan MacDonald. His name's... It's a wonderful... He's like, "I downloaded it at Duncan's house." What? He's like, "Oh, your name's Duncan MacDonald. You've got the most un-terrorist name going." And then cut to Kate Dickey. "We're hunting Duncan MacDonald."
Oh dear. And then we've got the aforementioned. Was his actual name William?
William de Beauvoir.
William de Beauvoir, otherwise known as DJ Beetroot, the root of the beats. Yeah, and the contention that the Duke of Edinburgh award is something being used to punish the boys. It sort of goes along with our personal feelings on the Duke of Edinburgh award that we had when we were kids,
The whole point is that they've got to navigate their way, do a bit of teamwork, do some foraging, and of course their teacher drops them off in the minibus, and they have to find their way to a campsite that he is going to meet them at. But of course, it doesn't quite go to plan in terms of the trek there.
Yeah. And they meet the Duke, played by Eddie Izzard, superstar English comedian and I guess film star. He's done a lot of movies, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's joined by his wife a little later on, called the Duchess. Both characters dressed exactly like the Duke of Edinburgh and the Queen. Whenever you see pictures of the Queen when she's at Balmoral and she's out in the fresh air, she's dressed exactly like that. And they're hunting the boys. It's established early on in the film that they've been killing people for a long time. Like, we see all the missing people, all the missing persons posters all over the kind of sign at the beginning of their walk. And then obviously we see the bare feet of a dead body after DJ Beetroot turns down a lovely pair of fence shoes that he's been offered. And it leads to the Duke and the Duchess pursuing our four heroes across our four well-equipped heroes across the Scottish countryside and through the Highlands.
To have Eddie Izzard in this, as you say, because we are 90s comedy fans, and I had a couple of his videos and stuff and on VHS, and I was a big Eddie Izzard fan. He's a brilliant comedian, and he's such a way about him. There's a couple of parts in the film that are just pure Izzard, and he's wearing a mask the whole time. It's kind of like a Zorro mask, but I think it's when later on in the film when the tables slightly turn and the boys are chasing them, and he kind of stops and adjusts his kilt and looks back at them and he goes, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" It's just pure Izzard. But the one that gets me so I was in hysterics is, of course, the boys have their weapons later on, as you say, but Duncan has this fork that he just keeps saying it's really sharp. It's a really sharp fork. And he does, as he's having a little duel with Izzard, he stabs him with a fork. And Izzard just, in the perfect Izzard way, comes out with a line, "My God, that fork is sharp." And it's just a beautiful callback to this. It's been mentioned so many times that Duncan's got a sharp fork. I can only imagine Eddie Izzard pulling it off that way. Just the way he says it, it's so funny.
It's his line as well when the boys try to make a bomb out of a camping stove to throw at him. It's just, it kind of pops, it lands beside him and just kind of pops on, and he says something like, "Oh, how thoughtful of you. Now once I've shot you, I can have a lovely cup of tea," or something like that, he says. Before they manage to get him with the explosive. Is that when they get him with the explosive hash?
Yeah, so we're never quite sure. I think it is tar, because they do. Is it tar from a road that Dean bought off his brother for 50 quid?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll tell you what, the Duke hunts them, and he is an absolutely terrible shot with his gun.
Yeah.
But the boys, fucking hell, they throw that camp stove and it lands just next to him, and then they make the kind of trigger mechanism out of the map, DJ Beetroot's CD and the hash. And they just manage to, Duncan throws it right into the campfire and explodes. It's hey, those boys are a hell of a shot with that.
Yeah, it's a good moment. It's just after Dean's almost blown his face off trying to smoke the tar/hash joint.
And that wonderfully leads to, obviously, when it explodes, it sets fire to the Duke's leg. And of course, they run off and they finally get to meet their teacher again at the campsite. And they see that he's got a burn on his leg. So they instantly think he's the Duke. And they're having a debate whether to what to do about it. And you can kind of tell, I watched it a second time, and the joke's quite obvious when you're watching it then, but it's so funny when they're going round having the debate. And like, "Duncan," and it just cuts to the wide shot of Duncan starting up the minibus and just fucking runs over Mr. Carlyle, the teacher.
I did wonder how they were going to sort of reconcile that. And to be honest, I thought it would transpire that he was involved with the Duke and the Duchess. I thought that's how they would sort of reconcile it. I didn't expect him to still be alive at the end of the film. He's got Duncan's fork stuck in his chest. He's fucking coughing up blood and all that.
So they, to try and cover this up, they put him back in the van and get it up to the top of a hill. And the plan is to push it over so it explodes and stuff. Did you catch the line when Duncan's fiddling with his face? Is that what you're doing? I'm trying to make it look sad so it looks like a suicide.
Yeah. To your point earlier on, like, they don't you know, they don't sort of sanitize any of the humor at all.
No.
You know what I mean? It's sort of like, I mean, like, there's some really black moments of comedy. But not many blacker than that little part that you just described there. You know, just say it's such a sensitive subject. They're just like, fuck it.
I think there's a lot of lines like that. I think previously to that, they managed to get through on the phone to the police about the Duke, and they say that he's a pedo. And Ian and Duncan have this wonderful exchange. If you can't say that, we don't know. Like, he might not be a pedo.
Police, we're being chased by a psycho paedophile with a gun.
Whoa. You can't go calling him that.
What?
We don't know if he's a paedophile.
Everyone old and famous is a pedo.
Well, you're 16, so it'd have to be fine.
I'd be fine?
You just can't call him a paedophile.
Oh, hello, sorry. Yes, that's right. We've been chased by a psycho with a gun, but we're still trying to figure out if he fancies us.
Better.
When all that's going on, we're back at the police station where they've got a sort of swally tally of crimes that they're supposed to be investigating, with this bread thief right at the top. And then Kate Dickie keeps at it. Terrorists, paedophiles. They end up looking for a gang of about 20 youths in hoodies at one point.
Did you see all of when she's flicking through the blue boards to change the board, one of them just says arsehole. And we have to talk about Kate Dickie, but I think we need to talk about Kevin. Just to give a little to any listeners, this is the actor Kevin Guthrie, who plays PC Hamish in this film. And for anyone that's not aware, Kevin Guthrie is currently serving a prison sentence for a sexual assault that he was found guilty of. I think his participation in this film was not heavily promoted in terms of when it was released because of what he'd done. Now, we've covered, this is his fourth appearance on the Swally, Greg, shamefully enough. We covered him on Sunshine on Leith, available wherever you get your podcasts, and this was prior to his conviction, so we spoke about him quite a bit then. In Barney Thompson and Two Doors Down, we didn't really talk about him as much. I think it's impossible not to talk about him in this film because this is just to make this clear. We do not condone the crimes that he committed, and I would like to talk about his performance, just only his performance in this film. And it's not related to our opinion or anything on Kevin Guthrie. I hope that's a good enough disclaimer, Greg, as in we know he's a fucking beast. However, he is fucking brilliant in this film. Him and Kate Dickie together are brilliant. Just absolutely hilarious. Obviously, the two bumbling cops, and of course, Brian Pettifer as the kind of third wheel. He's fucking brilliant. He's got like 3 lines, but he just kills it. Guthrie and Dickie are just a phenomenal double act as these idiot cops. But Guthrie's performance, this is probably the best performance I've seen him in so far, because he is genuinely fucking hilarious. And they're hunting down the terrorists, but they're also the biggest scourge of their village is the bread thief who is stealing all the bread.
And I love the superintendent's little speech about how there's babies that have never seen baguettes and all this.
Half the Highlands bread's gone missing. I've not had a ciabatta in weeks. Granary, seeded batch, pitta, organic raisin and cashew bloomer gone. There's babies out there who've never even seen a baguette. My neighbour, who by the way fought in the war, had to spread jam on a dog biscuit yesterday. All the ducks are miserable. They're getting really vicious. Think about it, no toast means no butter. All the farmers have gone mental. It's a full-scale disaster. So stop daydreaming. Stop playing TV cops.
And that's the ridiculous thing. The biggest problem is, they've got this terrorist zombies issue, but no, the bread thief is what they need to solve. And that's when it does get quite ridiculous in terms of the film, but also genuinely quite believable in a way in terms of these two bumbling cops of Hamish and Morag. And when they go looking for clues and they find DJ Beetroot's CD, and he says it's some kind of agricultural audiobook. And Dickie says, no, this is hip hop. Oh no, not in the Highlands. So they think that hip hop is this urban menace, and instantly that's when he delivers the line about I did a course on this. We're looking for 50 black males wearing hooded tops.
Yeah, he's very good, and he's very, very funny in it. And Kate Dickie, I mean, she plays the part so earnestly and just so, she's completely invested. There's no kind of wink to the camera, or whatever. She's, you know what I mean? Just really funny when they find the soup and they think the powdered soup and they think it's drugs, and Hamish puts some of these gums and he's like, it's heroin, but I think it's really heavily cut. And she's like, yeah, it's really heavily cut with something like maybe chicken.
As you say, she is completely deadpan in terms of her performance in this. And as you say, there's no wink, at least with Guthrie. I think because he does take the rabbit psychedelic drugs, you can see him kind of give the little wink to the camera. Yeah. Another great part is, when they decide to go rogue from the superintendent and he storms out and just picks up the plant pot and smashes it because they're going rogue. But Dickie just never breaks her stride. Yeah. In terms of the as you say, the earnest performance that she's giving in this, never cuts from it at all. Even when at the end, when she's telling the boys, she's asking Dean if he's ever considered joining the force and stuff. It's all completely earnest and serious.
The other scene that I liked with the powdered soup is when Dean and Duncan decide that they have to go and rescue Ian because he's one of them and all that after Ian's been captured by the Duke and the Duchess, and they've been eating this powdered soup up until then, and then they're like psyching each other up to run out and go and rescue Ian, and just before they run out, Dean leans down and does like a quick line of soup. It's like, it's really fast. It's like a really fast little cut before the scene changes. It's just I think that's something this film does really, really well. It's these little, just almost corner of the screen little visual gags or little one-liners and things. And if you look at the director, I think this is his Ninian Doff. I think it's his first feature, but it's like, it's incredibly confident. Do you know what I mean? Like, even like the scenes when they're on like sort of special Highlands rabbit shit drug, and it gets a bit psychedelic, I suppose, want of a better expression. And all that, like we were saying earlier, it could have been quite kind of by the numbers and a bit contrived and everything, but it's not. It just it just kind of goes with all the humour and the way he's telling the story, etc. It's really, really good.
I think he directed quite a lot of music videos, and I think built up a bit of a reputation and kind of knowledge. And I think this film, I mean, we'll come on to later in terms of it's quite obvious to see some of the influences in this. I did watch a making of with it, and he went into quite a bit of explanation. But I think, did you see who was one of the main financiers for this film?
Spider-Man,
getting it made.
Spider-Man himself.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
So I think when I watched the making of, the director did say that he basically had two ideas. It was a case of the Duke of Edinburgh award, that he wanted to take inspiration from that, and then he came up with the idea of this, the Duke hunting down the schoolboys, and he thought that was a kind of hilarious thing. It very much feels like an Edgar Wright film, and that's a massive compliment, I think, because it does feel a bit Hot Fuzz-esque. And there's a scene when Mr. Carlyle is explaining to the boys about the route that they'll take on the Duke of Edinburgh Award, and it shows the map and it plots, and he's talking quite fast about, so you go around here, you do this, you do this, you do this. That felt very much to me like the Shaun of the Dead speech of okay, so we'll go and get Mum, go and get Liz, we'll go to the Winchester and have a pint, and how's that for a slice of fried gold? Very much felt that kind of style. And also a bit like Taika Waititi as well, kind of Hunt for the Wilder People. Had very strong kind of vibes, but I don't want to say like it's he's ripped them off. It's not. This is a very his own thing. It's a very Scottish film as well. But it reminded me of that. But then as I say, in saying that, I can't pay him a higher compliment than that, because I love those films. And for me, he just fucking nailed it with this film. I absolutely loved it in terms of the style and the jokes and stuff. So high praise for that.
Yeah. No, it's really really good.
And he said also in the making of, I'll give you he spoke about casting James Cosmo. He's like, I couldn't believe I was getting James Cosmo and having to kind of ask him to do this stuff. He's like, but he just absolutely went for it. He's like, we played the music and he just went crazy in that barn. And he was dancing away and going mental. And they had a little interview with James Cosmo. And he said, oh, yeah, no, really enjoyed it. And it was a sunny day. And he said, this is all I ask for on my rider is beautiful sunshine, yellow jelly beans, and square sausage for breakfast. So that's apparently that's James Cosmo's rider, Greg. So square sausage for breakfast.
Interesting, but obviously doesn't give him heartburn then.
No. But as we spoke about him earlier, but he was 72 when he filmed this, and he's, as you say, he's eating psychedelic rabbit shite, which is apparently it was oatmeal and cocoa, so it was okay. Yeah. And he just looks like he's having the time of his life doing this.
Yeah. I wasn't sure how to feel. Like I said earlier, I wasn't sure how I felt about seeing James Cosmo dancing to this sounds of DJ Beetroot. And the thing is like that scene when DJ Beetroot puts on a sort of impromptu concert in the barn for all the farmers. Like, again, that could have been quite a cringy scene, but because of the way it's cut and it keeps cutting back to Dean and Duncan eating powdered soup, Ian trying to run away from the Duke and the Duchess. That strange little moment when he thinks he's found a trap door and he breaks the lock and he opens it up and it's just like it's just a window
fake
thing.
Hatch.
Yeah, it works. It actually works really, really well, and it makes sense now that you said that the director used to be he's directed music videos in the past, because that scene is like a little 2.5 minute, 3 minute music video.
Yeah, it is. But as you say, it could easily have not worked, but it does really work.
Yeah.
And as you say, I think it's a great testament to the filmmaker as well, because a couple of minutes prior to that, you have DJ Beetroot leaving the rest of the gang, and he goes off into this barn, and they turn round like, it's him, and you're thinking, oh shit, he's in trouble here, the other boys are gonna have to save him. But no, it turns out that he's
well quoted.
They've been listening to his CD, and they are big fans of DJ Beetroot. As you say, the concert he gives is just like a music video, but it works. It almost shouldn't work, but it really works.
Yeah.
I think the other big star of the film is the minibus, which now obviously we're going to massively spoil the ending here, but obviously we see the minibus going. It doesn't work when they try and push it off the cliff to get rid of Mr. Carlyle. It just ends up rolling back down the hill.
Yeah.
And of course Duncan says, well, Britain's an island, it'll fall off a cliff eventually. And you do see the minibus pop up again later on, in terms of when you see Hamish and Morag in the car, and they're Morag's talking about paying attention. You just see the minibus behind them wiping out a sheep. As you say, another little visual gag that you miss if you're not paying close attention.
Yeah.
So at the end of the film, the boys are confronted by the Duke and Duchess, and the lovely impassioned speech by Dean, which we'll come back to. But they end up calling for reinforcements, and effectively they're having a firing squad to kill the boys. And I genuinely was like, well, I guess Cosmo and the farmers are going to show up and save them. Because I can't think there's too many of them. It's not like they backfire. I genuinely would never have guessed that the minibus was just going to come out of nowhere and flatten. And it's so instant and sound. I mean, did it take you by surprise?
Yeah, totally. It was almost like a kind of Monty Python moment. You know what I mean? No, that was it. Because I was thinking to myself, like I said before, how are they going to reconcile the killing of the teacher, Mr. Carlyle, and have the boys come out of it still as heroes? Because Ian's like the only one who's concerned about that through the whole film. The other three are just fucking moved on immediately. And so I thought maybe the farmers would come or something like that, and then it's minibus just completely, because there's no like sound cue or anything, they're just all posing for a photograph, and then a minibus like crushes them all, and then poor Mr. Carlyle is exposed as the bread thief, because like he's got fucking all the bread in the back of the minibus.
I just genuinely love the ridiculous humour of this. If you're trying to explain this to someone, there's a bread thief, but it fucking works in this. And again, once Mr. Carlyle is kind of reanimated after they reanimate him with the chicken soup, and he's effectively telling the boys they're fucked because he's gonna, you killed me. Yeah. And then Dickie and Guthrie come in. And Guthrie's, have you seen 50 guys in hoodies, terrorists playing hip hop? And Guthrie delivers the line, and watch out, they might be paedophiles. It's just absolutely ridiculous, but it's just so funny. And yeah, but when they find the bread, God, Brian Pettifer's character, I can't remember, it's Dougie, sorry.
Dougie,
he'll be so delighted that the bread, he can have his proper sandwich again.
When he discovers that the bread thief has struck in the station break room, he's like, oh yeah, bastard.
I say, he's only got a few lines. I think that's, one of them. I think his other one is, but what about the bread thief? And when the superintendent's there and he's just looking at the kind of board and he's like, they've let the bread trail go cold. It's just a beautiful way he delivers it. Oh, he's so good. He is a fucking national treasure, Brian Pettifer. He's so good.
Yeah, my daughter and I were watching his episode of Still Game the other night when he plays the recently widowed guy. I can't remember his name. And Jack and Victor are worried that it's got that great scene when Victor first pretends that he's dropped a pan of piss on Jack. And then he accidentally drops an actual pan of piss on him.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. That's brilliant.
My daughter was killing herself laughing at it, so she was.
Oh, dear. So it all works out well. The cat's a bread thief. The boys are all going to get medals because they think that they've caught the terrorists as well, which is all the kind of gentry underneath. But yeah, before they get wiped out, Dean does deliver this beautifully impassioned speech, and I think that's why this film, it also has a real heart to it as well, because throughout the whole film he's just determined that he's just going to go and work in the fish factory for £6.50 an hour and pack fish. But after the battle with the Duke, and the Duke gives this speech, and then Dean just fights back, saying that, the planet's fucked because of you cunts, and, we're going to have to go and live on Mars, and all about society. And when Morag says to him about you ever thought about joining the force? He's like, I'm thinking I might go into politics. You're like, oh, wow. That's fucking brilliant. That's what a turnaround in the last, bit of time.
So I just reminded of another joke that I was surprised that they decided to do. And I'm only surprised because, we're always being told that we're living in this cancel culture and all that sort of stuff. But when DJ Beetroot has got the Duchess's sword and he won't give it back, she says, the Duke says, bad form. She's like, yes, bad form, Mowgli.
Yeah, I was quite surprised that. And apparently, again, watched the making of, and it was actually, that wasn't in the script. It was the actress, Georgia Glenn, that said this. She said to the director, I feel like I should say something really offensive to him. In that moment, it's the type of thing we'd say. And apparently she just improvised that, Mowgli. But yeah, I'm quite surprised that they got away with that. And of course, the other part is which is great. When they're speaking about orienteering, and Duncan's like, you can't say that, DJ Beetroot.
So how are we going to find the campsite?
Look, you're the one who got us lost.
No, I'm not. You're just lousy at orienteering. Whoa, did you just call me a lousy oriental? Orienteering.
I'll find the way. The old word is very offensive, Ian.
Orienteering? Stop saying it, bruv.
Well, just vibe it out. That's what the Duke of Edinburgh Award's all about.
No, the Duke of Edinburgh Award's about orienteering.
Whoa. Maybe you should think a bit more about Orient's feelings.
Thank you, Duncan. Kind of. Look, I'm not Chinese. So that makes it double racist, really. No, you're not Chinese.
Yeah, quite surprised at some of the stuff that they put in this, but again, it works. It's kind of, it's okay. And there's never anything sexual, or, you asked if it was okay to watch it. Did you watch it with your daughter?
No, I didn't, because I had to. It wasn't on Amazon Prime here, and it wasn't in not a lot of movies are, to be honest, and it wasn't in.
I checked, thought it was.
Yeah, and you can't even rent it. It said it was there, but it said this movie is currently unavailable. So I don't know if it's maybe the Guthrie effect that Amazon are maybe taking it down for a while and they're going to put it back up. But I don't know, because you watched it on Amazon. Did you watch it on Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so that can't be it. I don't know. So I watched it on the website that the Debt Collector was on. It seems to be working now. So yeah, I just watched it on my phone rather than watching it on the telly. But I might better see it. I think she'll quite like it. She likes that sort of silly humour, you know.
The only thing that because you asked me that, and I ended up watching it again to just kind of finalise my notes. And the only thing I could see that might cause slight embarrassment would be DJ Beetroot rapping about his dick.
Yeah.
And even then, it's a bit of a short kind of part. There's nothing else in it. You know, there's nothing sexual. There's the odd swear word. As I said to you, they do mention pedo quite a lot.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even when Mr. Carlyle, when the minibus turns up again, Duncan says to him, we're so sorry. We genuinely thought you were a psycho pedo. But the boys all get away. They get their Duke of Edinburgh award as well. And I thought that was quite the very end, quite a nice bit when they see the girls who are obviously off to go to the Duke of Edinburgh Award. They give them the sword, the rifle. They show them the farm side logo.
Yeah.
You see the shadowy figure. Oh no, of course, Duncan gives them the fork as well. And you see a figure at the top of the hill. So there's obviously more hunters out there. But the Duke's obviously been killed. But there's more out there ready to snare the missing. Snare the kids.
Maybe there'll be a girls get duked too, perhaps.
Well, that did cross my mind when I saw that. I was like, here's the sequel coming up. But I don't know how you could. Well, you could probably do it. You know, Our Ladies was absolutely fantastic. So I think you probably could do it. But we probably wouldn't mention the pedo jokes. And Kevin Guthrie definitely won't be in the sequel, that's for sure.
I don't think we'll be seeing Kevin Guthrie on our screens again ever.
No, I did notice on his Wikipedia it does say years active and it ends at 2021.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be done.
Yeah, he's fucked it. All right, shall we get juked through our Swally Awards?
Okay, yes. Well, let's run it through the Swally Awards. What have we got first, Greg?
Okay, so the first two on the list I don't think we can do, because my first one is the Bobby the Barman's "What was your favourite pub?" in the film, and it's one of the few things we've covered that doesn't have a pub in it. So
I mean, we could count the barn.
The barn.
I don't know. It's the only thing, but it's not a proper pub. So, nah.
The Ewan McGregor Gratuitous Nudity Award, there's no nudity, gratuitous or otherwise, in the film.
Nothing at all. Duncan's about to take his cock out to piss on the electric fence, but thankfully Ian stops him and tells him to just touch it instead. So,
and then the next one is quite an easy one. So the James Cosmo Award for being in everything Scottish kind of has to go to James Cosmo, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I give a shout out to Brian Pettifer as well, because if you look at his IMDb, that is fucking impressive, and he has been in everything Scottish. But then Cosmo, again, it always amazes me when you look at IMDb, and we obviously look at IMDb a lot for the podcast to just see what people have been in and stuff, and you're thinking, okay, so even then I'm looking at like Brian Pettifer, and as I say, he's been in a lot of Scottish stuff, and you're like, Jesus, he's been around for so long. He's in 121 acting credits. And then you look at James Cosmo, and you're like, he's got 216 acting credits on IMDb. Like, Cosmo must be up there with one of the highest acting credits on IMDb. 216 things he's been in.
He's been acting since the mid-60s, Cosmo. Just untold amount of appearances. And the thing is, he does everything. I guess he was in Game of Thrones, and I think he was in the first maybe 1.5 seasons, and a really important role in that as well. He's in The Outlaw King. He plays Robert the Bruce's dad and the Outlaw King. We might have to do that one at some point in the future. But then he takes. I don't imagine that this probably wasn't a particularly high budget. This Get Juked, I wouldn't have thought.
No,
he's quite happy. Just keep his eye in, do a little comedy role. Probably hasn't done a comedy role for a while.
I know, but he's already got he's got 2 credits this year already, and he's got 4 upcoming projects.
Right.
One of which he's the main character. The guy just doesn't stop at all. I'll need to check if any of these are kind of Scottish. I don't know, and we'll see if we can include them on the podcast. But yeah, I think it has to go to Cosmo since the award's named after him.
Yeah. Okay, the Francis Begbie Award for gratuitous swearing. Quite a lot to choose from.
There is, yeah. There was quite a lot of swearing in this. What did you go for in the end?
I went with, and I don't know why it made me laugh so much, but there's the two, when they're talking about weapons, and we don't have any weapons, and DJ Beetroot produces the sword, and Dean produces the rifle, and he goes, and a massive fuck-off gun. It made me laugh. And then after Ian's had sort of shouted out the sword, the gun, and Duncan's fork, Duncan's like, yeah, let's fucking do this. So it's just, I don't know why, just really made me chuckle.
I liked Cosmo's, we've already mentioned Cosmo's, hey, you wee shit.
Yeah.
And I'd loved, as you mentioned, Brian Pettifer's, oh, you bastard, as he finds out he's been struck by the bread thief.
Yeah.
But, I did particularly like the woman that Cosmo's, I don't know if it's his wife or his partner, if it's Mrs. Farmer, when she's sat and they're speaking to DJ Beetroot and they offer him the rabbit shit. And she says, it's local rabbit shite. They really get you well fucked up. And I just...
Yeah.
I like that.
Why do you think it's called the Highlands?
Ooh.
Okay, next then, the Jake McQuillan Tease Out Award. What did you have for this one?
I went with anything involving the minibus, basically. Like the fact the minibus wipes out the sheep and it wipes out all of the guys at the end. Yeah. And then, of course, it's involved in Mr. Carlyle's suicide. So it's because he looked so sad. It's I went with basically anything involved with the minibus is the tease out. What about yourself?
Well, I went with the bus landing on all the bad guys at the end. Yeah, so I did because it was so unexpected, you know. Archetypal Scottish moment. So I've gone with quite a pedestrian choice, I think.
Okay,
what did you go for?
I went with the fact that Dickie and Guthrie's characters were called Hamish and Morag.
Yeah.
But I also went with, there's one point that I think is Dean calls Duncan an utter fanny. And I thought that was a very Scottish thing to say. Yes, what about yourself?
I went with the Scottish police Land Rover Defenders. It just feels awfully like sort of Scottish countryside, you know, to me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's a good shout, actually.
And then the last one, so the Sean Connery Award, who got to go home and fuck the prom queen, which is our way of saying who won the movie. Who did you have?
I picked some of the boys initially, and then you think who to pick. You know, initially it was DJ Beetroot because he is fucking brilliant. Then I'm thinking, but Eddie Izzard's so good, and then I'm like, oh, but Dickie and Guthrie are really good. I can't give it to Guthrie though, obviously for obvious reasons. Yeah. I'm sorry, but just James Cosmo for singing "My Dick is a Tyrannosaurus, balls big like a bull, 100% Taurus." James Cosmo wins this for me. He's fucking just genius.
He's very good. He's very good. I gave it to DJ Beetroot. I was kind of between Duncan and DJ Beetroot, but the one Beetroot won it for me just really for one line, and we spoke about it earlier. And when he's given Mr. Carlyle his name, and Carlyle repeats his name back to him, and he's like, oh, like that chat, like drown out the sound of Mr. Carlyle saying his actual name. I thought, I've got to. It just tickled me so much. I had to give it to DJ Beetroot.
Yeah, I was pretty much very close to giving it to him as well, though. I thought it was a brilliant performance, and he was just so funny. And as you say, as we spoke about either, when he's getting the fence shoes and the way he's slapping Dean, he's like, do you imagine if people saw DJ Beetroot wearing fence shoes? Oh my god, like oh my days. He's brilliant.
Yeah. Cool.
Very good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed Get Juked, and thoroughly enjoyed watching it too. So I'm really glad that I managed to pick that. So it is your choice next time, Greg, on the Swally. So what are we going to be looking at on the next episode?
Well, my choice is a wee bit of a companion, I guess, to The Debt Collector. Well, it isn't. We mentioned on the episode that The Debt Collector is sort of inspired by the story of ex-gangster from Glasgow, Jimmy Boyle. So I remembered that there's a movie about Jimmy Boyle called A Sense of Freedom from 1979. It has got an absolutely tremendous cast. David Heyman plays Jimmy Boyle. Jake Darcy's in it. Fulton Mackay. Alex Norton, to name but three. Directed by John Mackenzie, who directed The Long Good Friday and a couple of things that we've done on the podcast, most notably Just Another Saturday and Just a Boys Game. So yeah, the other reason I picked it was I've said before, I like to kind of pick things that you haven't seen before if I pick something old, and I kind of thought to myself, well, there's a chance that Nicky might not have caught this. So
no, I've been meaning to. It's been on my list for a while to do as well, and I think it is on. I think it's on the STV player at the moment. It's definitely on one of the streaming channels because I've seen it and thought I need to do that. But no, I've never seen it, but I'm aware of it, and I know it's got a stellar cast. And Christ, that's going to take me about a day to update the Swally tally after that of all the actors that are in that. But no, never seen it. So yeah, it'll be my first time. So I'm looking forward to watching that.
Cool. Right then.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you watched Get Duke and enjoyed it as well. Now, if you liked what you heard, you can follow us on Instagram at Culture Swally Pod, or follow us on Twitter at Swally Pod. Or if you've seen anything that you would like us to review or talk about from the news in Scotland, then you can email us on cultureswally@gmail.com. And I promise on the next episode we will give you an update from our trip to Aberdeen.
We will. Yeah, not long now.
No,
all right,
not
then.
long now. No,
not long now.
Perfect. Wonderful. Right. Well, thank you very much, Greg, and I'll see you very soon, properly in person as well.
Absolutely. Until the end of the month. See you soon.
Until the end of the month.
My dick is a Tyrannosaurus. Both big like a bull, 100% tall.